So while we have the model out, why don't we show the viewers the correct way of putting on a condom?
Sure,
And I mean,
absolutely.
with spring break coming up, this is probably
Yeah,
the
it's
best time to
probably
show.
necessary. One of the interesting things to tell everybody is one of the reasons that people don't use condoms is they can't get the package open. So what I tell people is if you know that there is a potential that you may at some point be using a condom, if it's very, very soon before, you can sort of tear the package just a little bit. You don't want it to dry out, so you don't want to do it too far beforehand. But getting the package open actually takes some practice, and as I said, is one of the chief reasons people don't want to use them because it ruins the moment.
But again, to make sure that it has to be very soon before,
Yeah, very
because
immediately before.
they do dry out. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now there are all different kinds of condoms. You know, those that are textured, those that aren't. This one has some lubrication. The first thing you want to make sure you do is see what the inside is and the outside is of the condom. So you take it out and you can unroll just a little bit, and clearly here you can see that the center part is emerging. So that's the inside of the condom. You grab the tip. The reason that you want to grab the tip is not only for stability, but to leave some space for the ejaculate to accumulate. And you hold the tip above the penis, and then you just simply roll it down over. And you want to make sure that you extend it as far as possible. There are all different size condoms out there, just as there are all different size penises out there. So you want to make sure that you have one that fits properly. Here you can see that this one does fit properly, rolls down all the way on this model, and again does have space for ejaculate. And as I was saying, you want to make sure that one condom is used per sexual act.
Because two or more can end up causing friction, causing tearing within the condom.
And not only that, but we sometimes have people who will use one condom for one sexual act and then try to use the same condom again. So you want to just remember, always just a fresh condom.
What is the best sexual position between male and a female for clitoral stimulation?
Okay, for heterosexual sex, I am guessing that this person is very insightful asking this question, because one of the things that is remarkable, that it's not known, but one of the things that is not known is that the clitoris of the female is chiefly a sexual excitement organ. And so a vast majority of female orgasms do not take place without clitoral stimulation. That means this person writing in this question is wanting to know what position is best in heterosexual sex in order to make that happen. And the position that is very best for that is woman on top.
Why is woman on top better than, let's say, man on top or side to side?
Because it seems like with man on top, that would be a really good way for clitoral stimulation. But there are so many reasons for a woman on top to be the best position. Number one, gravity's in her favor. So as she's sitting on top, she can control the pressure, how much pressure is placed on the clitoris. She can control the movement during penetration. And then second to that, with the woman on top position, all the other positions where the clitoris can be reached to be manually stimulated by her or by her partner.
Dr. S., I'm looking to buy a sex toy for the first time. What would you suggest? So I guess you would have to do this for both male and female.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me think about this one. I guess what I would suggest is asking around to find a store. There are several ways you can do this, but asking around to find a store that will allow you to go in and be comfortable purchasing things there. So there are certainly several examples in the St. Louis area. We're very fortunate in that way that there are several stores here that sell, for example, on one level they sell incense and cards and things like that, and on another level you can look and find sex toys. But probably to be discreet, the best way to do it is to look online and order something from reputable catalogs. They usually come in an unmarked mailed container. The posting to your debit or the posting to your bank account is usually something that's relatively not able to be identified as a sex toy or a sex product or a sex company. And companies have become very good at being discreet about that. So ordering those things online from companies that you've heard the name of before is usually pretty effective. And as far as what toys to order, that would vary certainly from person to person to person. With females, whether they're lesbians, whether they're heterosexual females, I usually do recommend a vibrator. And one of the best ways to, if you're at a store testing out a vibrator, one of the best ways to determine what's good for you is not to test it on your finger, but to touch it to the tip of your nose.
Why to the tip of your nose?
It's just a better way to get a true representation of sensitivity, because the sensitivity of the regions where this is probably going to most likely be applied is more analogous to the nerve endings and the sensitivity to vibration in the nose than it is certainly on your finger. And for men, sex toys just vary a great deal. There are actually, maybe something we can do in future episodes is talk about some fairly exciting new sex toys that are out there specifically for males. But that varies quite a bit, and vibrators are always a possibility.
And I would just also like to say that I know that at most sex stores, the employees are very knowledgeable, and they are always open for questions.
Sure.
And can recommend some of the best.
Sure. I mean,
toys.
they wouldn't work there if they couldn't talk real openly about and weren't tremendously informed about the different toys. So I find worldwide, any store I've gone into, all employees have been wonderful, able to explain, comfortable. They don't look at you funny when you ask the questions. They know RPMs. I mean, they know everything about the products. So that's a great point.